Well, hello there, and good evening, YouTube. I'm William Brantley, reporting from live from Bemis, Tennessee, or South Jackson, Tennessee, ready to share with you today's climate summary and give you a forecast for the next few days shortly. It turned out to be a wet day in most of West Tennessee, especially the northern portions of West Tennessee, and finally towards sunset and up to now, it's wet here in South Jackson, Tennessee, too. And more heavier rain is coming our way as the evening progresses, and I'll show you that on radar shortly. As of usual, I'll go ahead and give you the climate summary first. The low temperature this morning in Bemis was 46 degrees, and the high today as of 5 p.m. was 59 degrees. Let me double check that to make sure it hadn't got warmer. Nope, still 59 degrees right now, and 46 was the low this morning, as I mentioned, since midnight. And the rainfall total here as of 5 p.m. has been 70 hundredths of an inch, probably a little bit more than that by now, but I'll get the final tally on that at midnight. Alright, the lowest humidity today was 93%, and that was at 6, 8, and 9 a.m. And the highest would be 100% at 12 and 11 a.m. and then again at 12 through 3 p.m. And I forgot to mention on the rainfall, I'm getting reports from some Facebook friends and some Twitter friends of at least nearly 2 inches of rain or more in parts north of Jackson and sections north of Jackson, up in Gibson County and over in Carroll County, especially in or even northern Madison County in the Oakfield area, around 2 inches or more. In the Oakfield area, and also up in Atwood, Tennessee, which is kind of on the borderline of Gibson and Carroll counties. There was a report from those sites earlier today of at least 2 inches or more. I thought I'd go ahead and show you that. But here in Bemis, we hadn't quite had that much yet. But from the looks of the radar, I'll be not too far from that between now and midnight, probably. Alrighty, let me get back to the other numbers for you. The lowest barometric pressure today was 29.83 inches, and that was at 4 and 5 p.m., while the highest would be 30.14 inches, and that occurred at 12 a.m. Today's highest wind gust would be 22 miles per hour out of the southeast at 3:34 p.m. Now the records for today, for February the 11th, hottest high would be 79 degrees, and that occurred in 1999, while the coldest high would be 23 degrees, and that occurred in 1955. The warmest low would be 66 in 1984, and the coldest low would be 5 degrees in 2011. Today's rainfall record, I really doubt we'll break it, but it might come close, even here in Bemis. Right now, the record is 3.67 inches, and that fell in 1965. We'll have to wait and see what happens between now and midnight. That's a lot of rain to fall between now and midnight, though. So it'd be a close call, but I think 65 the year will hold. We'll see. Alright, another big event that we had was in 1985, the snowfall record. We had 8 inches of snow today back in 1985. Boy, that was a big one back then. Not too many years ago, 1985, on February the 11th, 8 inches of snow. Alright, February actually carries the higher amounts of snowfall in history for the Jackson area, especially in February and March. Seems like we always had the heaviest snowfall amounts. And up to that time frame, we mainly had light amounts, generally less than 2 inches and several traces. I just thought I'd bring that up for informational purposes. All right, that takes care of the records for today, and I guess that's it. Let me show you a few graphs, and we'll take it from there. Let you see how heavy the rain is in parts of Jackson right now, and other parts of West Tennessee, of course. As you can see from this weather radar summary, it's raining pretty good in Jackson now, and it's moving through Southside and on through the city, and it's raining pretty good here at my house here in the Bemis area now, and there's more coming. Look at all this red and yellow scattered around from Dyersburg down through along the Mississippi River, basically down to Memphis, and it's really coming down around Memphis, and all that's yet to come to our area. I need to get this camera to quit wiggling so bad and branch it out a little bit better so you can see it a little bit better, how widespread the rain is. Let me bring the radar down a little. There we go. It's a pretty good area to our west. The heavy rain's finally forming down around Memphis and down to Mississippi, moving toward Jackson. Well, we'll start getting some of the heavy rain this evening in Jackson. Most of it so far since last night about this time has been mainly north of Jackson, all down up around Dyersburg, Union City, Martin, Paris, and on over toward Blythe, Arkansas, Jonesboro, and those locations, and they're still getting it over there tonight yet. And that's the reason why the flash flood watch that was valid until midnight tonight has been extended till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning for still the northern half of West Tennessee. I'll show you that map momentarily. It's the same one I showed you a couple of days ago, but still Madison County is not included in the flash flood watch. At this time, that I can tell, there's no flash flood warnings for any county in West Tennessee. There are some over in Arkansas, but they haven't made it to West Tennessee yet. But that would be a good chance that that may happen, especially between now and sunrise tomorrow morning, which is probably when the heaviest rain's going to wind up hitting most of West Tennessee, even including Jackson and all. Let me just bring it on, let you see how concentrated the rain is over in Arkansas, south of Memphis, moving northeast, and on down in southern Arkansas there. Let me branch that out, just move it down a little bit more, let you see how far south that is, all the way down to Shreveport, Louisiana. My goodness, it's raining down there pretty heavy too, and all that's moving up in our direction. So we'll probably wind up with a flash flood warning before the night's over with, but that will be up to the Weather Service. They're the ones that puts out that advisory. But Arkansas is pretty covered this evening with a lot of rain and heavy rain all the way to the western side, to the southeastern side, and all over, as you can see. In those red areas is heavier rain, and we'll be getting to that before too long this evening. It's good. So if you're traveling to Memphis over in Arkansas tonight, be very careful. You're going to be getting wet, needless to say. All right, let's bring it out a little bit more, get a slightly wider span of it. It's raining across the whole state of Tennessee this evening, all the way over in East Tennessee at Knoxville, and of course over here. And it stretches, like I said, all the way down to San Antonio, Texas, and Austin. My goodness, way on down there. And it's all moving in our direction. And we're in for a wet night, put a long story short. And it finally held off to the afternoon, basically, for us. But we're getting our share now. I figured it'd take about that length of time to finally hit us real good. And it's raining all the way up to almost the Great Lakes before it changes over to some winter precipitation up there. Looks like it's snowing in extremely northern Missouri. Some, a mixture there along the borders there. You see what's at. Snowing in most of Iowa, on over to Chicago. They're getting a good mix up in the Chicago area. and then on over toward Pennsylvania, and raining in the western parts of Pennsylvania. A big swamp of rain here covering the good part of the country tonight. And let me get a little bit bigger just to see what it looks like, a whole view of the country there. Yeah, it's snowing all the way from Iowa all the way up to Canada, through the Dakotas and those areas. There's pretty good snow up in that area, but rain and heavy rain and a few thunderstorms down in our area. But it's covering just about all of Arkansas. My goodness. Way down there in northeast Texas. I don't get a closer up view just in case I decide to look at it one more time here in just a minute before I sign all the way off and get a fairly reasonably close view of it. That might be close enough right there. But I'll leave it right there for now. Let me go. Of course, obviously the satellite's going to be loaded with clouds. And there they are. Let me get that out of the way. Pretty much cloudy across the area, and that's going to continue, obviously. Probably till at least about mid-afternoon tomorrow. Then we may actually get a little sunshine by then. Let me show you the map that I was talking about a while ago. The only thing that's changed, counties hasn't changed. As far as the dark blue, that's the flash flood watch. That lighter green and different branches or triangles, looks like all river flood advisories from all the flooding going on around the area of rivers from all the extra rain we've been getting. Of course, the Forkadale River here in Jackson is getting rather high up, and that watch, then the dark green there, goes again until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. There you see the counties there included: Lauderdale, Crockett, Dyer, Lake, Obion, Weakley, Henry, Crockett, Gibson, Carroll, and Benton counties, all included, and also parts of Middle Tennessee as well. Again, Madison County is not included in this watch, even though we may wind up with a warning later on tonight. We'll have to wait and see on that one as to what the Weather Service decides to do on that. This area red over here in Arkansas is some flash flood warnings. And let me see if I can get a slightly better view of that. Let me see, bring this over. I need to get Little Rock, Arkansas in here. That would help. And see what it looks like from that standpoint. It doesn't show the warnings like I thought it would. There's a different officer. Well, it's not showing the red. I don't know why. Alright, never mind. I'll just skip it and move on. That's a closer up view of the Weather Service's radar out of Little Rock. As you can see, well, there's some areas of green there. If you look close enough, marked off in darker green, that's the flash flood warnings for down there near the Little Rock area and north of Little Rock. And I'm not sure what the timing of expirations on those are. One of them looks like they just expired, but those are the flash flood warnings over towards central Arkansas. Okay, but that's none of them affected us, not yet at least. Alright, the other thing I wanted to show you, let me go back to this other page real quick and move on down to the forecast maps for tonight. Okay, let's see. This one here is probably tonight's or today's as of 3 p.m. Yeah, I think so. As you can see, there's a wide area, low pressure right over us just about. Wide area with a threat of flooding from Arkansas to Mississippi through West Tennessee on up all the way through Kentucky to southwest Ohio. Pretty good area there, and rain all around it. And then, of course, starts mixing in with little freezing rain up in extreme northern Missouri that crosses over through the Great Lakes on over into Pennsylvania and Virginia there. And some snow on the north of that near Chicago area that we just got through seeing a while ago. And that's the rest of the country for you for tonight. Really, our area is the most active area in the U.S. For today, and probably will be for overnight as well. Alright, tomorrow morning's forecast map shows, let me see, as of about 3:45 a.m. It shows most of the flooding rain is east of us by then. And remember, the watch expires at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The flooding is possible over in East Tennessee and on up into West Virginia. And the rain moves on up with it. There you see where the freezing rain is then. And a good area of snow up north of that, mainly in the Great Lakes and New England states. And there you see the snow out the Pacific Northwest, where they're expecting some out there. And other than that, it's not a tremendous amount going on. There are two cold fronts that's going to be moving through, one tomorrow morning and another toward Wednesday morning. Speaking of that, let's look at Wednesday morning's forecast map. Boy, did that move through fast. Good gracious. Wednesday morning, as of about 3:50 a.m., the rain's gone by then. And so is those two cold fronts, just way off the Atlantic coast by then. By Wednesday morning, it's all the way down to Miami, Florida. Goodness gracious. All the rain is gone by then. And a little bit of snow up north. The snow's way up in Canada by then. And some out here in the west and the mountain areas as usual. Okay. And you see the area of snow to our north, but nothing down here. We're going to finally get a break from the precipitation in a good part of the southern part of the country. Boy, could we use it. And speaking of forecast, let me go ahead and give you the detailed forecast. It has a few more details to it, and I'll read that off to you a few days, and then I'll let it go for the evening. Of course, for tonight, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a 90% chance of more rain and showers, heavy at times. Might even be an embedded thunderstorm mixed in. So if you hear a little lightning, hear a little thunder weather. Don't be too surprised. And we'll have south winds, of course, at 10 to 20 miles per hour throughout the night. The mostly cloudy skies will continue on into tomorrow with the 80% weather, chance for more showers till about noon. And then it's just going to be mostly cloudy afternoon till around 3 or 4 p.m. And then actually the sky should become fair by then. We should have a low near 55 degrees tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high should be about 58 degrees, very similar to today's 59. Well, it just turned 60. How about that? Just hit 60 degrees here in Bemis. That's the new high for today. The current temperature of 60 degrees as of 7:53. That's the high for today so far since midnight. Alright, tomorrow's high is going to be about 58, very similar. We'll have west winds and be a little gusty tomorrow, about 20 to gusting to 35 miles per hour. And the first quarter moon is complete tomorrow. It rises at 11:06 a.m. Tomorrow morning and sets at 12:28 a.m. Wednesday morning. Incidentally, the sun rises at 6:45 a.m. tomorrow morning and sets at 5:34 p.m. tomorrow evening. Finally, on Wednesday, it's going to be mostly clear all day. Probably all night, too. We could use one of those, couldn't we? Low temperature, a little cooler, 32 degrees for low. High about 58. That's not going to be too bad. It may actually feel pretty good Wednesday. With southwest winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's not too bad, southwest winds. But by Thursday, Valentine's Day, we're back to mostly cloudy skies. Doggone it. And we even have a 70% chance of more showers by Thursday night. That means mainly just mostly cloudy all day, though, Thursday, Valentine's Day. But no rain until Thursday night, probably. Low of 44, high of 59. And that's not bad at all for temperatures this time of the year, with south winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. So maybe you'll be able to hang out with your loved one or mate or husband or wife, whatever, that night without a whole lot of problems. Hopefully, anyways. Okay, the sun rises at 6:43 a.m. and sets at 5:36. p.m. Thursday for that. On into Friday, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of a few more showers. Low of 51, high of 55 with west winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Saturday and Sunday now looks mostly cloudy both days, and as of right now, no precipitations expected either day. Low Saturday morning about 34, high of 47 with north winds at 10 to 20. Low of 34 Sunday morning, a high of 50 with northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And rain's back in the forecast by next Monday with mostly cloudy skies with a 50% chance of rain, low of 35, high of 45. Alright, I won't go ahead and cut it at that for right now. Like I mentioned, it's 90% chance of rain for the rest of the evening. Really all the way up to about noon tomorrow, then it should quit by then. Then be mostly cloudy to around 3 p.m., then becoming fair. Low of 55 and a high of 58 tomorrow. One more time. Let me look at the radar one more time, like I said I was going to do, and show you. Let me come in a little closer and show you what it looks like now. Yeah, that's a pretty good size area yet of rate getting ready to move into Jackson and the western parts of West Tennessee as well. As you can see right now, it's raining pretty heavy down in Memphis, especially on the northern sections of Memphis. And that stretches on up to around Covington and then really on up to Dyersburg. It's pretty heavy rain and now in the Covington area, down in Memphis and east of Memphis, and going to be getting here in Jackson before too long. The heaviest part over there in northern Memphis might go just to the west of Jackson and hit Humboldt within the next hour or two anyways. But then there's more coming down from where that's coming from on all the way down, as you see here, all the way down to the southern Arkansas. There's a lot of heavy rain down there that's moving right up our way too. So we've got a lot of rain to be putting up with between now and noon tomorrow. And the total amounts could be somewhere between 3 to 5 inches in several locations, or at least in a few locations, I should say. It's already had amounts close to that just north of Jackson and get ready to hit Jackson itself before too long. Alrighty, that's the radar for tonight, and everybody be careful out there. If you have to be out and driving, be cautious. Make sure you have your headlights on and windshield wipers are working in good condition and all that, and just be cautious out there since it is dark already. Well, alrighty, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching and viewing and subscribing, and hope to have another update for you again tomorrow evening. And until then, good night and God bless you.